Hey everybody, my name is Lucas. Hope you enjoyed that rundown of the Lichtlearm King in Yellow. I think I pronounced that right. I saved all of the talking for the very end of the video because I know a lot of you like to watch and hear what everything sounds like, and you don't really like any talking in there, so I did you guys a favor. If you're sticking around for this talking portion, I love you so much. Thank you so much for sticking around. Just to show you how much I love you guys, it's the middle of summer right now. This room is very, very hot, and I'm filming this very late at night because it's kind of the only time that I can get in here. But enough about me and my stupid problems. Let's talk about this pedal. A little disclaimer, I am friends with Daniel, the guy who designed this pedal, but in no way, shape, or form is this video sponsored or am I giving any special treatment. I ordered this pedal directly from one of his US dealers and it got shipped to me, which if you're in the US, that's the best way to do it, is pretty much just go through his US dealers, because it makes shipping a little bit easier and it's a lot cheaper. Though he just implemented a thing on his website to where if you're from the US and you order on his website, it automatically gets ships from his US deals, which is kind of nice. I want to explain something to you. Whenever I finished playing the little intro demo and I was doing some stuff on the clean channel of my amp, by the way, I used my Revv 100R Mark III for this demo. Guitar was a Mayonnaise Duvel. It had some bare knuckle Warpig pickups in it, and it was in drop C. The very little demo you heard at the beginning, that was me showing off the different clipping modes. So let me consult my little handy dandy book here. So when you're all the way to the left, that is a SD1 style clipping and or a symmetrical clipping. When you're in the middle, it's LED clipping, but that's also Daniel's own take on the clipping style that he wanted for the LED clipping. That's his own. And when you're all the way to the right, it is a tube screamer type of clipping, and it is also a symmetrical style at the same time. The differences are very subtle in the clipping, but I just kind of leave it in the middle because that's just kind of like where I liked it. For the blend knob, you saw how I was showing it off in the demo. Whenever you don't have another pedal connected to it, whenever you move the blend knob, it blends in some of your dry sounds. Since my 100R is so bassy, it kind of blends in a little bit of bass, so you can kind of play with that knob a little bit to get the best kind of tone that you want. I kind of just put it all the way to the left, which is all the way, you know, the pedal is engaged, and I kind of back it off a little bit. If you want to look at the blend knob as a mix knob, it's sort of the same thing. For the level and the gain, I find that the pedal kind of comes alive with the level when you kind of have it around, it's typically 6 or 7. That's kind of like where I set all of them, which would be like 1 or 2 o'clock if you're looking at it on a clock scale. It's kind of where I find it comes alive. Pushing it farther than that, I didn't hear any benefits for pushing it any harder than that, but I mean, that's completely up to you. Gain, it has plenty of gain on tap, like you heard it. When I had it all the way maxed out, it was like feeding back and stuff. This pedal, to me, gain wise, it comes in lower from the start, meaning if you have like your typical Maxon 808, for example, if we're going to compare it to that, I find the gain on the King in Yellow, it starts at a lower level. So what I did on here was I turned it up, and I had it around like 9 to 12 is kind of like where I felt that it sat with my 100R. Meanwhile, on a typical 808, I typically have the gain all the way down. So that's just to kind of give you an idea of how I dialed that gain in. So don't really be afraid to put a little bit more gain. And I also pushed my amp a lot harder. I had the gain up on my amp a lot harder because I find the pedal likes that a little bit better if you drive your amp harder there. Now, moving on to the EQs, I tried to give you a wide spectrum of it, and the way I have it set up now is kind of like where I preferred it, and that's kind of like where it was in the demo. I want to give a big shout out to my friend Dom, because he let me borrow his EQ graphs from whenever he checked out this pedal. And for the EQs themselves, the low is centered around 80, the low mid is centered around 400, the high mid is centered around 1.2K, and then the high is centered around 3K. And another thing I wanted to cover is for the polarity knob. I should have covered this when I was talking about it, the blend knob. So they all kind of go together. This thing has a little like side chain loop. If you look on the very right hand side, it has an in and out, right? You can chain another pedal to that and you can blend that in. So whenever you connect another pedal to it, like a drive pedal or a boost pedal, you can blend that in. And if the polarity is like weird, you can flip that polarity switch and it'll get it back to correct polarity that it should be to kind of fix things. Whenever you put it all the way to the left, it does have a little bit of a bass cut in it. I kind of just want to cover that just so you guys know what exactly it does. You can even flip the polarity like while you have it connected to an amp, but I just kind of leave it to the right. Going back to the EQ, the main thing that I want you guys to take away from this pedal is that the EQ can get you in trouble if you're not careful, particularly the high. So the high knob on here is very, very, very powerful, because for the longest time I was running it kind of at noon, or you know, at 1 o'clock I was kind of cranking it a little bit. It sounded awesome in the room, but when I went back and listened to it on the recordings, it was cooked too much. It had too much high end in it, which it is kind of a trick in ears. Your ears will play on you whenever you're dialing and stuff in the room. You want it brighter, but just because it sounds better, but you typically want to dial it back a little bit. And I've been kind of doing that with everything that I've been doing. It's trying to dial back the brightness. So just be careful, and do not be afraid to turn the knobs on these things. That's why I kind of went really wide and kind of went really wild with them on here. Turn the EQ knobs. Don't be afraid, because I had to kind of sit with the pedal a little bit and I had to learn it. I thought I would jump right in and be like, oh yeah, I've used drives a lot on my Axe Effects with like EQ knobs and stuff like that. So I thought I'd be used to it, but I wasn't at the same time. So do not be afraid to turn the knobs. What I like about this thing is you can cut out a lot of bass, you can cut out a lot of the low mid nastiness that's in there, and you can kind of crank the high mids if you want, or you can kind of cut them depending on what kind of like tone you want in there. And the high is very, very powerful. So if you have like a dark amp, you can push a ton of highs in there, you can get that clarity that you want. Or if you have a brighter amp, you can dial them back. So flexibility is kind of like the key built-in thing for this pedal. Overall, I like this pedal a lot. It's one of my favorite, if not favorite, overdrives right now. I mean, it's the newest one I bought. I did buy an 808 recently too, and I kind of compared that to the 808 at the same time. The 808 is kind of like easy mode. You know, you put everything, you know, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and you put the drive all the way down, and it's kind of like easy mode. But if you want something that lets you dig a little bit deeper, it lets you go a little bit exploring a little bit, this is the pedal you need. I'll put links in the description if you want to check them out, and I'll put a link to Daniel's site if you want to check that out too. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I've been trying to make this video for over a month. Things kept getting in the way, but I'm so happy I was finally able to make it. I hope you enjoy it. I know there's a lot of stuff out there vying for your time. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I hope this helped anyone out who had any questions about the pedal. And guys, if those videos cool, leave me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, I do lots of cool stuff here. I don't want you to miss it. So please subscribe if you feel so inclined to. And guys, I will catch you in the next episode. Or I should say, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.